Okay, hi everyone. This is just a very quick video presentation just to go through all the controls on the cabin pressurization control panel, which is on the overhead panel. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the control switches on the overhead panel. You can see there's four major ones. In fact, there's only four. Identified on this picture as 1, 2, 3, and 4. So start off in numerical order. Starting off with number 1, this is a landing elevation selector. This is only used if you're operating the system in manual mode. So normally the switch would be as it is pictured here in the auto position, and in this situation the pressurization system will take the landing elevation from the flight management and guidance computer. If you're operating the system in manual mode, you select your own landing field elevation, and you can just rotate it away from the auto position and select any one of those numbers there, or any position in between. Now these numbers on the switch, they're just purely there as a bit of a guide really. If you look at the ECAM, it'll give you an accurate figure of the landing elevation, and that's the figure that's going to be used by the system. Button 2 is the mode selector. So the default is for it to be in auto. So the switch would be dark during normal operation in the auto mode. Now in auto mode, we know we have two channels, and if a channel fails, it will swap over and use the other one. You can manually select that. You can force that channel to change over. What you need to do is push the button to operate it in manual mode, leave it there for 10 seconds, and then push it again to go back to auto mode. And what it will do, it will then attempt to use the other channel. If there's a fault, the fault light comes on, and you can operate it in manual mode. The manual vertical speed control switch, number 3. When there's a fault, okay, we can use this. Again, we would use this in manual mode, and we can just operate that toggle switch. It's spring loaded to the neutral position, and it controls the outflow valve position through the operation of the manual motor. It only works when the mode selector switch is set to manual. When you select it to manual, the mode selector switch, the auto motors are basically switched off, and the manual motor is engaged. So now we control that motor, or that outflow valve, with this toggle switch. Remember though, the outflow valve does operate slowly. You hold the toggle switch, it will move very slowly, and once they reach their desired vertical speed target, they can let it go, and the motor will stop at that position. The ditching button. So when you operate the ditching button, this will send a closed signal to the outflow valve, the emergency ram air inlet, the avionics ventilation inlet and extract valves, and the pack flow control valves. So we can prepare for ditching. If, just as a word of caution, if the ditching push button is set to on the ground with the low pressure ground cart connected and all the doors closed, you're going to get a pressurization. Pressure differential will build up and the aircraft will pressurize. So just be aware of that. Also remember, if the system's in manual control, and when the system's in automatic control, when we touch down, the outflow valves open. This does not happen in manual control. The crew have to do that themselves to dump all the cabin pressure once they've landed.